Threk. Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar Alert, your go-to source for the latest updates. Today, we're tackling a huge question in the investment world. Why are people still holding on to the Iraqi dinar for the long term? For years, this currency has been a rollercoaster of speculation, hope, and debate. While major currencies like the dollar and the euro dance to the tune of global markets, the dinar's value is a different story. It's tightly managed by Iraq's central bank and swayed by the country's own political, economic, and security situation, despite all the ups and downs and years of slow progress. A surprising number of investors are holding on, convinced that one day, the dinar will rise. But why? What's the logic behind this long-shot bet? In this video, we're going to dive deep into the 10 key reasons driving this unique investment trend. We'll look at the economic factors, the speculation, and the powerful psychology that keeps the hope alive. Let's get started. First and foremost, the number one reason is the sheer belief in Iraq's future economic potential. And this potential is built on a massive foundation. Oil. Iraq is sitting on one of the world's largest proven oil reserves. We're talking over 145 billion barrels. This isn't just a number. It's a colossal long-term revenue stream. Many investors are betting that as Iraq finds its political footing and strengthens its government, all that oil money will eventually fuel a much stronger economy and, in turn, a more valuable currency. Let's not forget, Iraq is the second largest oil producer in OPEC. They're constantly signing new exploration contracts to boost their production capacity. With global energy demand still high, especially in fast-growing regions, Iraq's oil wealth provides a solid base for future growth. Investors see this and think, eventually, this has to translate into a stronger dinar, whether through a gradual appreciation or a more dramatic revaluation. This brings us to our second point, the constant speculation around a possible future revaluation, or what everyone in the community calls the RV. The Iraqi dinar is one of those rare currencies where the idea of a revaluation is a constant topic of conversation. Experts are divided, but the speculation alone is a massive driver for long-term holders. The hope is that Iraq might one day restore the dinar to its former glory, closer to its value before the wars. The thinking is that a stable government could push through the economic reforms needed to lift the currency's value. More foreign investment could pour in, strengthening the banking system and supporting a higher exchange rate. Now, to be clear, no official body, not Iraq's central bank or any major financial institution, has announced a dramatic RV. But for many, the mere possibility of it happening is enough to justify holding on. It's a high-risk, high-reward play, and the potential upside is just too tempting to ignore. The third major reason investors are willing to be patient is the series of financial and banking reforms that Iraq is actively implementing right now. These aren't just small tweaks. These are foundational changes designed to modernize the entire financial system. The goals are clear: increase transparency, attract foreign investment, and cut down on corruption. We're seeing Iraq introduce new international banking compliance rules, push for the digitization of payments to reduce dependency on cash, and crack down on the black market dollar trade. They are also laser-focused on strengthening the central bank's reserves and its control over the currency. Long-term investors are watching these reforms closely. They believe that as these changes take root, Iraq's economy will become far more stable. And as we all know, a stable economy is the bedrock of a strong national currency. Some analysts even argue that the dinar simply cannot appreciate until these reforms are fully in place, which gives investors a reason to wait it out. Reason number 4 is confidence in Iraq's growing foreign currency reserves. This is a big one. Over the past few years, the Central Bank of Iraq has been steadily building up its stash of foreign currencies. Why does this matter? Strong reserves are like a financial shield. They give Iraq the power to stabilize the dinar, maintain the official exchange rate, control inflation, pay its international debts, and reduce its reliance on the US dollar. When a country's reserves are growing, it's a sign of strength and resilience. It signals to the world that the country is financially sound. Many long-term dinar holders see these rising reserves as a clear indicator that Iraq is getting its house in order and preparing for a more significant economic shift in the future. It's a tangible sign of progress that gives them the confidence to hold on. Next up, at number 5, is Iraq's strategic role in global energy and trade. Some investors see Iraq as more than just an oil producer. They see it as a key geopolitical player in the Middle East. As global trade routes and energy flows shift, Iraq could become a critical hub connecting Asia, Europe, and the Gulf region. A perfect example of this is Iraq's Development Road project. This is an ambitious plan to connect the Grand Forecourt in Basra all the way to Turkey and Europe. Think about what a project like this could do. It could create entirely new industries, generate massive government revenues, and supercharge the entire economy. Mega projects like this are long-term catalysts, investors who are thinking 10 or even 20 years down the line. See this strategic positioning as another powerful reason why the Iraqi economy, and by extension the dinar, could be much stronger in the future. Reason number 6 is a very practical one: the low entry cost of the investment. Let's be honest, compared to buying stocks, real estate, or even cryptocurrencies, purchasing the Iraqi dinar is incredibly cheap. This low barrier to entry makes it very attractive for speculative investors who want to take a shot at a massive upside without risking a lot of capital. For example, buying just $100 worth of dinar can get you millions of IQD. The potential upside, if the currency were to ever appreciate significantly, is enormous. At the same time, the downside is limited to your initial investment, which for many is a relatively small amount. Less low risk, high potential reward psychology is a powerful motivator. It encourages people to buy and hold for years, waiting and hoping for that one big positive shift that could change everything. Our 7th point is the belief in Iraq's eventual political stabilization. For decades, political instability has been Iraq's biggest hurdle. It has held back economic growth and created uncertainty. However, long-term investors are betting that Iraq will eventually achieve greater stability. They see younger generations pushing for reform, transparency, and a modern economy. As political stability improves, good things tend to happen. Investor confidence grows, foreign businesses feel safer entering the market, and the government can finally make predictable long-term plans. While the process is slow and often frustrating, some investors believe Iraq is already showing signs of political maturity compared to the chaotic years following 2003. They are betting that this trend will continue, creating the stable environment needed for the currency to strengthen. Coming in at number 8 is a more strategic, big-picture reason. A smaller group of investors sees the Iraqi dinar as a hedge against future changes in the global monetary system. There is a theory that the world might one day move away from the dominance of the US dollar. In such a scenario, currencies that are backed by tangible commodities or natural resources could become much more valuable. Since Iraq has such massive real-world assets in the form of oil and other resources, some speculate that the dinar could benefit greatly in this kind of future. This is a highly speculative idea, of course. But for those who believe a major global financial reset is possible, holding a resource-backed currency like the dinar is a logical long-term strategy. The 9th reason is optimism about Iraq's growing international partnerships. Iraq is not going it alone. The country is actively strengthening its relationships with major global and regional players, including China, the Gulf nations, the United States, Turkey, and Iran. Source: also working closely with international financial institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. These partnerships are crucial. They support infrastructure development, boost trade, and help expand the energy sector. Long-term investors pay close attention to these diplomatic and economic alliances. They see them as positive signs that Iraq is being integrated back into the global economy. Each new partnership and trade deal is seen as another step toward the stability and growth that could ultimately lift the value of the deal. Finally, we have our 10th reason, which is all about emotional and psychological factors. For many people, holding the dinar has become more than just a financial investment. It's a personal journey. They have followed the story for years, ridden the waves of hope and disappointment, and have become emotionally invested in the outcome. Hope, optimism, and patience are a huge part of the experience. Many are willing to wait simply because they've already held the currency for so long and they've heard repeated predictions of future gains. There's a feeling that the big moment could still be just around the corner, and they don't want to miss it. For this group, it's a commitment, fueled by belief. So, to wrap it all up, the decision to hold the Iraqi dinar long-term is a complex mix of solid logic and pure speculation. It's driven by Iraq's incredible oil wealth, the ongoing economic reforms, and its growing foreign reserves. It's fueled by the speculative hope of a future revaluation, the country's strategic regional importance, and a low cost of entry. And it's sustained by a psychological commitment and a deep-seated belief in a better future for Iraq. Whether the dinar will ever see a significant appreciation remains the million-dollar question. It's uncertain and carries risk. But the faith of its long-term holders is undeniable, and it continues to make the Iraqi dinar one of the most interesting and talked-about investments in the world. Thank you for tuning in to Iraqi Dinar Alert. What are your thoughts? Are you a long-term holder? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll see you in the next video.